Get it, truck!
Hello, people of the interwebs. It's your favorite garage-dwelling Sarah here with another truck review. And today I have the 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro, but this isn't just any TRD Pro. This one has the 6-speed manual in it. The only way anyone should ever buy a Tacoma. The TRD Pro Taco remains mostly the same for the 21 model year. It still does come with these standard Rigid Industries LED fog lights. Not only are the LED headlights on this truck TRD Pro specific, but I just realized yesterday they're also sequential for your turn signals. This is so pretty. The biggest change for 21 though is the addition of this color, Lunar Rock, or as the guys next door call it, Olive Primer. I don't care what anyone says though, I love this color. And this one does have the optional TRD Pro graphics on the hood and the bed sides which complement it. You don't have to have those though, and if you're one of those people that care about paint fade as the vehicle ages, then you might not want to get them. In case you missed the review I did on the 2020 TRD Pro Taco, the biggest thing that sets this truck apart from the other Tacos is the ingredients. It comes standard with these Fox Racing internally bypassed shocks, as well as these matte black TRD Pro wheels that are wrapped in 265/75 Goodyear Wrangler Kevlar reinforced tires. This is also equivalent to a 31-10-5 if you're not familiar with metric. Regardless of the model, all Tacos come standard with 4-piston calipers up front and drum brakes in the rear. And some of you are like, ew, it has drum brakes still in 2021? But the fact of the matter is, it's a simple design, it's easy to maintain, and it just works. There's a reason why you still see so many old Toyota 4x4s with over 500,000 miles on them cruising the streets and trails. Side note though, they charge you extra to have these badges done in black. And in case Google is hard, here are some datas for the truck's capacities. Also, these LED lights on the side illuminate, and that's a power inverter. That's a storage cubby. Welcome to the inside of a taco. This one is void of any meat, cheeses, or veggies because it's a truck. And it has this black leatherette interior with the TRD Pro embroidered in there, some red stitching. The seats are heated. There is really no bolstering to them whatsoever. They are comfortable and 10-way power adjustable. Hear that clicking? That's that 6-speed manual transmission shifter right here. Obviously, the most important part about this Tacoma is the fact that it's a 6-speed manual, the only way you should ever get one of these trucks. And if you disagree, you probably also think bananas are too spicy. Spicy bananas. Anyway, the one thing I am disappointed about though is the fact that this generation of Tacoma, when you opt out the manual transmission, it no longer has the corkscrew style parking brake that's under the steering wheel. It has a Ripa e-brake, but I missed the old one in the dash. Those were fun. This back seat is equipped with everything you need to go off-roading. You have a oh shit handle, 2 cup holders that say capped bottles only. Yeah, it's kind of square shaped. What happens if I want to put a juice box in there? I think that's acceptable because the straw kind of keeps it from spilling. Unless you squeeze it, or you're going over a mountain and there's like pressure differences and it'll just start squirting on their crotch. It does have a sliding rear window, but check this out. Ready? You can do it from a button on the dashboard. My favorite thing to do is drive with the air conditioning on and that back window open just because it feels somewhat tropical in here. I don't know how, but it just does. I have a button that doesn't do anything because the ignition's off. I have another button that doesn't do anything because the ignition's off. For 2021, all models of the Tacoma now come with a dual zone climate control. There's your one piece of sensible journalism I'm going to include in this video. The rest is all nonsense. This is a huge fucking steering wheel. Look at the size of this thing. It's like a large pizza. Bet your automatic transmission equipped Tacoma doesn't have one of these. And yes, this is a $40,000+ truck with a key, but this will never fail on you if you jump in a river with it. Check it out, no feet. good, that TRD catback exhaust. It's really odd. This engine sounds very similar to the 1GR 4.0 liter that was in the prior generation. It's half a liter smaller, but it still sounds almost identical. One thing Toyota absolutely needs to add to the Tacoma, because this has the AC power inverter, the switch up there, it needs to have a 110 outlet in the back seat, because a lot of people that drive these trucks want to charge camera gear or operate their laptop and keep it charged. I think that would be well appreciated. The screen for the digital climate control in here is cute. It's got like a little arrow pointing at the person's head. Ooh, now it's pointing at its feet. Now it's not pointing at its head. Now it's defrosting its feet. Now it's pointing at its head. Quee! Wireless charge cubby. This one is not equipped with the optional JBL sound system, although it does allow you to tune into your favorite satellite radio stations. Come on, there was a joke there. Somebody got it. It was really not that funny. It also has navigation and allows you to speak to robots and play with fruit. The last time I reviewed one of these things off-road, it was on a trail to test its trail climbing capabilities. Now I'm in a big desert off area, and I'm just gonna do exactly that. So it's time to send it. Get it, truck. This suspension is really good though. This is really smooth considering how rough this trail is. It allows you to be really fast. There you go. Articulation check time. This area is really good for doing that. It's super beat up, like whoops. I think that's what they're called. I don't dirt bike, but I think, well, these are not really whoops. These are oops. Smushed helicopter in the road. These Fox shocks are super smooth. The other thing I noticed about this truck too is when you really pound it off-road, you don't hear any creaks or bangs or rattles. The only rattles you're hearing in here is my camera equipment. Last time I filmed the Ram T-Rex here, I did the north-facing hill. It's a lot easier than this side. This is the south-facing hill. This isn't the most difficult one here, but this is by far twice as difficult as the other side. So I'm gonna climb it. And because this is not the automatic transmission version of this truck, it does not have the terrain select modes or crawl control. What it has though is called a variable intelligence terrain mode. And that is controlled with your left foot on the clutch and your right foot on the brake and the gas. It also has A-Track, advanced traction control, just as a little cheat function. I'm going to put this thing into 4-low just because, why not? And also lock the rear diff. Off-road cam engaged. Ready? Let's see what this will do. I'm gonna use first gear the whole way up. Oh man, 4-low in first gear. This thing is like a tank now. Holy shit, why am I doing this? Thank God I got that camera system because I cannot see anything in front of me. Oh geez, this is gnarly. Oh, it's really easy though. Oh, that was so simple. It looks scary when you're there in person, but when you actually do it, that wasn't scary at all. Nor was that any bit of a challenge for this truck whatsoever. This also has an intelligent hill descent control as well. It's operated with your right foot. Oh, this is gnarly. This is so dope. What is my pitch? It doesn't even show you what my pitch is. It just shows the underneath of the truck. It's like the truck just drove off a cliff on the camera. Oh geez. This is nothing. This is so easy. I thought this was gonna be tough. Was not tough. Was not tough at all. Oh my god, this hood's heavy. Purple, cool it. Oh, it's windshield wash. Smells like nothing. Hello, and welcome to Garage Science with Sarah. Under the hood of the 21 Tacoma is still the same 2GR FKS. It's a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6 that produces 278 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 265 pound-feet of torque at 4,600 RPM. This 4-cam V6 utilizes D4S direct and port fuel injection as well as a simulated on-demand Atkinson cycle to help in fuel efficiency. Now, I have said in a past review of the Tacoma with this engine that I much preferred the former generation's 1GR 4-liter V6 because of the fact that that engine made 278 pound-feet of torque at only 3,700 RPM. And in a truck, I feel having more usable torque down low is most important. And because this is the TRD Pro model, it comes standard with this TRD air filter. You can get an optional snorkel kit on this, and it comes with a TRD catback exhaust system. In the name of science, it is now time to give this taco the beans. I'm going to disable traction control, gauges auto LSD, give this thing a little bit of assistance and see what it can do. Ready? Yeah, let it eat, taco! Second gear rubber. I don't know if it chirped third, it sounded like it might have. Alright, that's good. And that right there is why you buy a 6-speed manual taco. Can't do that shit with an automatic. Alright, it's time for the braking test. No one behind me? Ready? Oh geez! Wow! Wow! That was not bad. I mean, there's like an obvious dive at first, but... Hello, I'm back. It's now time to go over the most important aspect of this truck. Its drivetrain. It does have an electronic locking rear differential, as well as an electronic controllable transfer case. That's what that little pack on the back is for right there, to tell this thing what to do. And also to give you an idea of why these trucks sound the way they do, you can see there is a crossover portion of the exhaust from these 3 cylinders on this bank that join up over here with the other 3. This is it. I think this is the last truck on the market, other than maybe the Gladiator, because you can get the Wrangler with a 6-speed manual, that you can still get a manual transmission in, and it's a shame because this thing is so much more fun to drive with the 6-speed in it. And in case you care, this is the RC62F. It is an in-house designed 6-speed manual. And this is the part where I was going to show you the TRD aluminum skid plate. But apparently the journalist that drove it before me must have jumped this thing off a loading dock and meleeed the out of it, so there's no more R or D. I'm sorry you were destined to be a press vehicle. You deserve better than this. Poor truck. Oh, weird. There's some cat litter and potatoes on the side of the trail right there. What the hell are people doing out here? Get it, taco. Get it, taco. I love driving this truck. Oh man. So as far as the on-road driving goes, why would you choose this over an automatic transmission when it doesn't get as good of gas mileage? It's only a couple miles per gallon difference, and it all depends on how you drive it, and I think that's the biggest factor. I've been having fun while driving this thing, and that is something you can do with the manual transmission and arguably can't do the same thing with the automatic. This is just way more engaging to drive on the roads. I personally would choose this hands down over the automatic. I think longevity wise too, even though Toyota makes pretty bulletproof products, I would much rather have a manual transmission than an automatic, and I like to party. So that's how I'm justifying it. Do the right thing, people. buy a manual transmission if they offer it. If you guys never seen one of my vehicle reviews before, I have multiple categories to rate and assess them, starting with the bean score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 beans based on the feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And the 21 TRD Pro Taco with a 6-speed manual is getting a rating of 1.2 beans. All depends on how hard you send it. With the acceleration of this truck, it feels a little bit sluggish compared to the 4-liter with the manual transmission, but if you send it hard enough, it just makes up for it. Next is the cookie score, as a rating of 1 to 5 cookies based on what you get for what you spend. And this taco, as it sits right here, is getting a rating of 3.9 cookies. It's getting a fairly above average score just because of the fact that you can find these trucks with like 60,000 miles on them, 5 years old, and they're still selling for damn near what they do brand new. It's insane how well they hold their value, and that has to factor into the score. Next is the Meatball Score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 meatballs based on the truck's ability to tackle rocks that smell like wads of meat. And this TRD Pro Taco is getting a rating of 3.5 meatballs. I don't know if this one will survive being blown up on the top of a building or let the tide in the UK take it out to sea, but its ancestors will, and that has to account for something. Lastly is the penguin score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 penguins based on how much I personally like a vehicle. And this truck sitting right here is getting a rating of 4.8 penguins. It's not a perfect score because I prefer the 1GR V6 better, especially because you could get that engine with the TRD supercharger. But other than that, love this truck. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you soon with another. Bye!